So what if I told you the iPhone 17 Pro might finally fix outdoor brightness, thermal issues, and battery life all in one go? Well, that's exactly what the latest leaks are claiming, and with Apple's September 9th event just days away, the timing couldn't be more perfect. One of the most interesting late-stage reports focused specifically on the Pro models, with fresh claims that the 17 Pro and Pro Max will see big upgrades in display brightness, thermal performance, and battery life. According to Weibo leaker Instant Digital, these Pro models will be easier to use outdoors thanks to brighter panels that hold higher brightness for longer. I expected this upgrade, to be honest, because with the 17 and 17 Air now getting 120Hz ProMotion, you need some other spec to set the Pros apart, and so those will continue having the best panels when it comes to brightness. On top of that, Apple's apparently reworked the thermal system, meaning fewer drop frames in demanding games, and smoother performance when recording 4K video at 60 frames a second under the summer sun. Also, the vapor chamber cooling system means the 17 Pro will be able to sustain higher brightness for much longer. Now, to be fair, the 16 Pro already was an upgrade over previous iPhones in this department because of the graphene cheat. It had sustained 2000 nits of brightness for longer than older iPhones, but the 17 Pro should push things forwards. And if that wasn't enough, battery life's tipped to take a major leap forwards, with the 17 Pro Max potentially crossing the 5,000 mAh thresholds, making this the longest lasting iPhone ever. I'm really excited about the endurance. So with these late breaking Pro rumors in mind, let's zoom out to the bigger picture, because every year, the days leading up to the iPhone launch are filled with leaks, rumors, and last minute surprises, and this year is no different. Between bold new color options, redesigned accessories, and potentially game-changing features like reverse wireless charging and variable zoom, the iPhone 17 family is definitely shaping up to be a more exciting year than the iPhone 16. Today I want to break down the latest credible rumors ahead of the event, dig into what they actually mean for buyers, and of course speculate a little on how Apple might put it all together. Let's kick things off with the feature that has the most people talking: reverse wireless charging. This is one of those rumors that has followed the iPhone for years, popping up every so often, but never actually making it to the final shipping product. According to Weibo leaker Fixed Focus Digital, Apple's been testing reverse wireless charging on the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, which will allow them to wirelessly power up other Apple devices. Picture this: you're gonna head out and your AirPods are on 2%. Instead of scrambling around for a wire, you simply place your AirPods case on the back of your phone, and that gives it enough juice to last the commute. Now technically Apple has already dabbled in this space, because back in 2021 when the MagSafe battery pack launched, people discovered that when you charged the iPhone with a lightning cable and the power back was in the back of it, the iPhone could actually pass some charge over to the battery pack. So that was the first tiny sign that iPhones could output power to an accessory, but it was more of a side effect than a proper feature. Then came Type-C with the iPhone 15 series. Apple allowed reverse charging through the ports, supporting up to 4.5 watts for small accessories. Helpful, yes, but again, not true wireless reverse charging that many Android flagships have offered for years. This is why the iPhone 17 Pro could finally be the turning point. Multiple leakers, not just one, are now pointing towards Apple actively enabling this feature, and that's significant. There's no guarantee it'll ship in September because Apple has a habit of testing things internally and then holding them back until the experience feels seamless. But since the competitions offer this for years and they need feature parity, it feels like the right moment for Apple to finally deliver this. If they do, expect Apple's marketing to play up the convenience angle. Fewer chargers to pack, fewer accessories to carry, and more ways to keep your devices topped up directly from your iPhone. Now pause here and say if you're enjoying this breakdown and want to stay up to date as we head into the Apple event, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be covering every major announcement as it happens, with deep dives into the iPhone 17 series, so subscribing now means you won't miss a thing. We're trying to hit 20,000 subscribers right now, so every sub counts. Shifting gears to the cameras, Weibo leaker Instant Digital says the 17 Pro Max could feature a 48-megapixel telephoto camera with true variable zoom. In plain English, that means a lens that can seamlessly switch between 5x and 8x optical zoom without relying on digital cropping. Right now, the 16 Pro Max tops out at 5x optical with a fixed 120mm focal length. If the 17 Pro Max introduces true variable zoom, it could put Apple on par with, if not slightly ahead, of Samsung's periscope lenses, which have been the industry gold standards. Alright, let's now talk about colors. Apple knows that design and finish can make or break a buyer's decision, and according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the standout new finish for the 17 Pro and Pro Max is orange, or to be more specific, a copper-like shade that looks richer and warmer than anything we've seen on a Pro iPhone before. This isn't the first time copper has been in the conversation. Back during the iPhone 13 Pro cycle, there were strong rumors of a copper finish that never materialized. Perhaps the finish wasn't ready back then, but it looks like Apple's finally nailed it. Alongside orange, dome models also point towards the usual black, white, and dark blue lineup. The story doesn't stop there though, because the iPhone 17 Air, Apple's replacement for the 16 Plus, is also getting its own signature color. Multiple sources, including fixed focus digital, say this will be a very pale light blue that almost looks like white in dim lighting. The subtle shimmer though could make it a real eye-catcher in Apple's marketing campaigns, similar to how Sierra Blue defined the iPhone 13 Pro. If Apple leans into the light blue, it could easily become the poster color for the iPhone 17 Air, helping to differentiate it from the rest of the range. It's also worth remembering the material science here. The Pro models have been stuck with titanium in recent years, which limits color options because titanium doesn't hold bright finishes easily. That's why we got muted tones like desert titanium last year. But this year reports say the 17 Pro will move to glass and aluminium builds. Aluminium is easy to color and allows brighter shades, so it's no surprise we're suddenly hearing about bolder options like orange. It's a small design shift, but one that could make a big impact on how these phones look in the real world. Of course, accessories are also part of the color conversation, and that neatly brings us to the new cases. Apple's had a rocky history in this department. Fine woven was supposed to be the eco-friendly successor to leather, but customers tore it apart online for being scratch-prone and looking worn out just after a few days. And Salika Majimbu had previously told us about tech-woven cases, but Apple is also preparing to launch their usual silicone case range, but with a new name, Liquid Silicon. What's Liquid Silicon, you may ask? Well, the name is more marketing than material science, but the key points are a matte finish, soft touch texture, and a wide color section. Think deep orange, pale orange, grass green, celadon, fog purple, grey blue, dark blue, and midnight black. There's also the detail of lanyard cutouts, something Apple seems to be pushing across multiple case designs. Combine that with the tech-woven cases we've already heard about, and it looks like Apple is aiming for a two-tiered accessories approach, as they usually do. We have the colourful, affordable silicone for the mainstream. I say affordable in quotations because these are still quite expensive, and then fancier woven materials for the premium crowds. Apple's apparently even tested more shades as well, names like Carambola, Tannin, and Late Green. These didn't make it to the final lineup, but Majimbu suggests that these could appear later seasonal updates, and if you've been around the Apple world for a while, mid-cycle case color refreshes are Apple's way of keeping the range fresh without touching the hardware. Here's my personal take though, I will never spend this much on an Apple case. These silicone cases cost $50, and for me, brands like Spigen or ESR just offer way better value. They protect your phone just as well, sometimes even better, and they cost a fraction of the price. Sure, Apple cases look sleek and give you that in the ecosystem feeling, and I get why people buy them, but personally, I'd much rather save my cash for something else. One more interesting nugget on the accessory front, Gurman says that Apple's considered releasing a bumper case for the 17 Air. If you remember the iPhone 4 days, the bumper case was a rubber edge guard that left the back exposed. It was born out of antenna gate, but it became something of a cult accessory, with the 17 Air expected to be ultra thin, possibly 5 to 6 millimeters. A bumper case makes sense. A traditional case would bulk it up and ruin the thinness, while a bumper could protect the edges without hiding the design. Gurman even hints at a battery case for the Air, which feels a little ironic. The whole point of the Air is thinness, but heavy power users will have to use the case to get through a full day of usage, and will have to make their phone thicker. So what do you think? Would you actually use reverse wireless charging on your iPhone, or is it a gimmick? And is orange bold enough to tempt you to upgrade? And would you put a razor thin iPhone 17 Air into a bumper case, or risk going caseless? Drop your thoughts below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be covering Apple's September 9th event in full, with deep dives on every major announcement. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.